The Saddleback Leather Company moccasins. These things are amazing. They're lined in sheepskin, and I feel like the way it's morphing and scuffing. Oh yes, this is going to be a special one. Don't cut things open with sharp objects like that. I see a lot of people do that with boxes. You need to be a little bit more discerning with how you cut through a box, right? We're going to get into this one right now. Ooh, look at this Saddleback Leather Company with that really cool logo, or a mascot rather. I like that dog. That's so cool. As we slip these out, I did receive these for purpose of review, and oh Lord, look at that. And I'm glad I did, because look at how beautiful this is. This is vegetable tanned on the bottom here, the sole, and you're gonna slip and slide a bit unless you scuff this up. I can feel how smooth it is just running my hand across it. It kind of looks like wood, right? And if you step on wood especially, or even like harder surfaces, it doesn't have to be wood flooring, but if you're wearing these like indoors on hard surfaces, yeah, you're gonna slip around until you scuff them up a bit. Look at that, Saddleback Leather Co. These are beautiful sheepskin, like real sheepskin, of course. Dave Munson, Azle, Texas. Yeah, Texas boys, huh? I ain't too far from Texas. I used to live in Texas back in the day. But yeah, look at these beautiful sheepskin brown coffee moccasins. They do have like these slipper versions that doesn't have the back side, right? But they are essentially kind of the same. But these ones I decided to go for because I wanted to, I'm trying to pull this out with one hand. It's in there, jammed in there. There you go, just for structure, right? Really nice little bag here that I'm definitely gonna use for something, right? Put some clothes in there, put some dirty undies. Yeah, these moccasin kind of, they're slippers, I guess you could say, but they're built like they're not slippers. I mean, like, they make slipper versions of these, so these moccasin ones aren't necessarily slippers. Like, because I'm also trying to point out the fact that it's so well made, and I wanted to get these filmed before the sun goes down. Look at this, so nice. If you look at the bottom, vegetable tanned leather, as I mentioned, made in old Mexico. Old Mexico. Arriba cabrones. Look at this brown coffee leather as well. Looks really good. It kind of matches my shot jacket here, which also has a shearling collar, right? This is sheepskin right here, and the same thing pretty much applies to the shot collar, and this is just super nice. I prefer the moccasins over slippers because I'm more of a boot person to begin with, and these are like almost like a boot. It's like a hybrid. I don't know, it's hard to kind of describe them, but you can tell they're super well made. And I just really want to scuff them up now, because you do be sliding around everywhere on these things, and I would love to get them scuffed up right now, in fact. And as I slip them on, I don't know why I didn't make the joke about liking black coffee, but you know, brown works just as well. Coffee is coffee. At the same time, when you think about it, like, I typically prefer brown type of leathers over black. It depends. It really depends. I wear a lot of black boots and use a lot of black leathers. I wear a black hat. This is a leather hat. And I do like black, but you know, you can see more of the tones come through when it comes to browns and stuff like that. I will be wearing these both with socks and without. These are some smart wool socks, and they fit perfectly. These are a size 10, as you can see here. I'm a size 9.5 D on a Brannock, so that's 9.5 normal width. And they don't sell these in half widths, so go up half a size from your Brannock size. So my sneaker or Brannock size is 9.5. I wear pretty much all my sneakers in 9.5. These Danners are 9.5, and most of my like heritage style boots like Iron Rangers are 9. So half size down on those, but in terms of these slippers and these moccasins sold by Saddleback, you'll want to go half size up if you're in between sizes. Otherwise, you know, if you are a size 10, get a size 10. These feel kind of perfect to me. Like both, I mean, I guess there's some length in there that I'm, you know, like I'm not topped out. So these will fit a size 10, but they feel perfect on my foot. Like they wrap around it nicely. And here they are on. Now, you will want to scuff them up because I just walked inside to grab this little microphone here and I almost slipped immediately. As soon as I walked in the house, I almost slipped immediately, which is like kind of wild because I'm not really a clumsy person either. But like, you know, it's smooth leather. You really gotta scuff them up. You can see it leaving a little bit of the kind of the dye, the paint on the ground there. Just do this, and it might even be better to use a rougher surface than the concrete I'm on right now, but this will work just fine. I can see it coming off. I can literally see the leather. Yeah, I mean, there you go. Look at that. That's kind of how it works. Kind of kick the heel. If you don't do this, you know, some people might think, oh, like just walk in them, it'll be fine. Trust me when I say you cannot just walk in these things, especially if you're using them more like as indoor kind of shoes or slippers. If you are using them as slippers indoors, trust me, you're going to slip if you have any kind of hard floor that's slippery, you know, even worse than just like plain socks. I mean, socks aren't inherently slippery anyway. But yeah, so, you know, maybe just go in a motion like this. I'm seeing the leather get shaved off onto the ground, and I'm already feeling the resistance. Like it's already starting to feel like it's harder to slip, even with that stuff on the ground here, that leather dust. Yeah. And then, there you go. That's a lot better. And it's not wearing down. Like what I'm doing is not like etching away at this in a negative way anyway. Just roughing it up. It's kind of like a nubuck or like a rough out kind of leather in a sense, and removing the painted kind of surface there. And then you just use them like normally. These fit super well. Again, size 9.5 D is my foot, and these are size 10. The moccasins, they're just gonna look better and better over time, because that's kind of how leather works. And all the creasing that's already going on, looking way better already. Super high quality. Feeling very little slippage now. And we're gonna try these out for quite a while. More to come. And here's kind of a big thing I enjoy about leather in general, is just how it shifts and morphs. It doesn't matter what kind of leather it is, or where it's from, or what use it's for. Like in this sense, it's for the sole, right? And I feel like the way it's morphing and scuffing just looks so good to my eye. I love how that looks. Same thing with the uppers, like around the vamp, where this will start to crease and show its creases more prominently over time, and the coloration will change as well. That is absolutely like one of my favorite things about leather. And I just love that these are sheepskin. Sheepskin just slaps. One thing I like a lot about these is how the shape of the heel here, where this is the sole, and you can see how it protrudes on either side. And that is actually helpful because it prevents your ankle from rolling. Like the one on the inside is less important, I would say, because you don't really roll this way, but it does help. I can feel it kind of catching and stopping me from going further. And the outside one is what helps a lot. Like I can really feel that preventing me from rolling my ankle. And it's ironic because when I was in the military, we used to roll our ankles a lot wearing the boots we were issued, because they're not great boots, which is, I don't know, like a lot of people seem to think that the military has the best gear, and yeah, maybe, but not in certain cases, not with like rocky boots. Those are things that companies are contracted for the lowest price for, right? Like they can provide the lowest price to the military or the government for creating something, and that's what you get is something cheaper. Even something as simple as adding a lip there so that your ankle doesn't roll when you're like running or walking around, especially on things like rocks. It's like a lot of people don't seem to understand how important that kind of feature is, and that's built into something that's effectively supposed to be like a slipper. Like this is like it's a moccasin, and honestly, this is way more overbuilt than a slipper ever would be. Even their slipper version, I'm sure, is very much like the same. It just doesn't have the heel part, right? It's built so ruggedly, and look how good the sole is starting to look already, just after like one day of wear. I'm loving these things. The Saddleback Leather Company moccasins. These things are amazing. They're lined in sheepskin, so they're not technically like fully sheepskin, right? Like the outside, I don't believe is sheepskin. I believe it's the lining that is fully sheepskin. And let me come up close here to the camera and show you how the footbed looks here. Looks really amazing. Like, look at that. I mean, you're going to see some hair and stuff in there. I've been wearing these for several days now, and I've been wearing them every single day. And as you can see from the sole here, look at that. It's just scuffed to perfection, in my opinion. I saw a review on their website, Saddleback's website, where the person was complaining, like, I don't know what kind of surface this sole was meant for, but they basically said something along the lines that it was useless and that they were slipping everywhere. But Saddleback does have a lot of writing on their page, on their product pages, and they tell you exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to scuff these up when you first get them, just as I did earlier, and they are way better now than even when I first initially scuffed them, because now they're taking on the natural wear patterns. As you can see, this is like a stitched down boot, kind of like Danner's and a lot of high-end, high-quality boots. It's not Goodyear welted, so there's not going to be like cork in the midsole, right? This is kind of a boot sole. This is a leather sole. It's super hardy, super rugged. It's not really something you would find typically on slippers, but this isn't really a slipper in my opinion. It's a moccasin. It's durable enough that you can call it something other than a slipper. It just mostly has a slipper stance. Like it's flat, right? There's no heel. You have the soft toe, which is amazing. Kind of the mock stitched down the middle there on the vamp. And I've been trying these on with socks, without socks. And yeah, they are definitely way more preferable if you're wearing them without socks. Like you just have your bare feet touching that beautiful fur. And as you can see, I'm wearing this Wrangler Sherpa jacket here. It's not real fur. It feels way less luxurious than sheepskin would, understandably. But just look at these things. Just so rugged. I'm really liking the leather sole. I've had leather soles before, like on Oak Street boots. I've had some Chrome XL Oak Street boot maker boots, and I did like the leather sole on those. But interestingly, I think I prefer the sole on these because there's like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but maybe it's like the stance and the fact that these are way lighter than any boot would actually be. So these are like shoes, I guess you could call them. I mean, you could say they're slippers because they do use that word in their product pages every now and then, slipper. But in my mind, even though they sell a slipper version of this, without the back heel portion, I wouldn't call this a slipper. Even their slipper's super rugged, super durable. It's like the same sole and everything. But just the fact that this thing is like so rugged, I don't think I could call this a slipper, but you can use it like one. You can use it around the house. This will not make you slip around anymore once it's scuffed up. And it does start to form to your feet as well, which is one of the biggest things about these kind of high-end boots, or even it can happen with lower end boots, but we're talking about synthetics, right? When it comes to synthetics, they're not going to form to your feet nearly as naturally as natural materials because they're not going to break in like the rubber or whatever that you have. It's not going to form to the shape of your foot. Whereas with something like these, they absolutely will, and they already have. As I guess I'm gonna come back up here to the camera And maybe you can kind of see it. It's kind of built that way, but you can see like just curvature. And when I put my hand on the inside and feel the inside where the ball of your foot and your toes would be, I feel it already. So like this sole is definitely forming to the shape of my foot, as well as like things like the heel. This part here actually kind of hurt me a little bit. Like, not very much. It didn't like bruise me or cut me or anything like that. But this part does need some breaking in right there in the back. As you can see, it curves around, right? There's like a nice steep curve. It goes all the way around your heel. It wraps around your heel. And just look at that beautiful leather. Not even in the greatest lighting, but if I could get some sunlight on it, it looks even better. Just really, really nice. It's patinating very well, and the shape and form is just looking so good. I love the roundedness of a last like this. Just so nice. And you know, one of the things that people trip up on a lot when it comes to sheepskin is that they think it's mostly like a winter or cold weather material. And yeah, like in a lot of ways it is. Like that's kind of what it's for. But at the same time, sheep do thrive just fine in the summertime with their fur. So it's perfectly fine. Like if you wear these in the summer, you're not going to overheat, because the thing about sheepskin or like fur, wool, it's insulating. It will insulate you either way, so it'll keep you cooler in the summer and it'll keep you warmer in the winter. However, there's stipulations, right? There's stipulations to that. It depends on how the boot is built, how the shoe is built. As you can see, you have the sole, and this is a stitch down construction, so there's not going to be a cavity where there's some cork inserted into the middle, or you know, a piece of leather. And that means that this is going to be closer to the ground with your foot inside, right? So your foot is closer to the cold of the ground, and this is leather. It is not going to really prevent the cold from seeping in. And that's where the sheepskin being lined on the bottom of the boot actually helps a lot, because it keeps you insulated. But the thing about it is, like, even my Danners are warmer than these technically when it comes to just like kind of standing around. If you're walking around, you'll be perfectly fine wearing these because you warm up, right? You're being active. But if you're mostly just standing around and maybe, you know, below 0 Celsius, so below freezing temperatures, then you can actually feel the coldness of the ground seeping through if you're not being active. Like, I'm not very much of a slipper person, but I think I've started to realize maybe why people do wear them so much. It's because it's just super convenient, in my opinion. Like, you slip them on, and I have other slip-on boots and also zip boots. So it's not that the convenience of those is any less, I guess, but because these are so short, it's like you just slip your foot right in, right? Like, whereas like I have taller boots, like 8-inch boots, and if I slip my foot in there, obviously it's not very difficult, but like the height of it does actually make a difference. And the same thing with like the height of the sole, right? There's no heel on here, and that actually makes a significant difference in my opinion, because when it comes to like walking on a sole versus walking on a flat surface like this, there is just a stark difference. If you're not used to walking in flat things like this, like, I don't know, if you're a woman, you walk in flats, or you're a man, you walk in sandals. I don't know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the heck your gender is. But if you're walking around and you're used to walking in stuff like this, of course, I don't think you're really going to notice it too much, other than maybe like that this is more durable than maybe most of the things you might be wearing in terms of slipper type stuff. But in terms of like the feel of walking with it, it's nice because it's almost like a barefoot thing. And I'm not like a barefoot boot kind of person, barefoot shoe kind of person. I don't know too much about them at all, but I imagine this is basically what a barefoot shoe is. It's wide enough. I'm pretty sure this is maybe like a Munson style last, maybe just styled after the Munson last, like the Munson military last. So it allows you to splay your toes out naturally as you're walking around, right? Like when you lift your foot, like as you're walking upward, your toes naturally want to splay out, and then as you go back down, they kind of cinch back down together. That's just kind of how it works. Whereas a lot of boots that don't have a wide enough toe box here, they'll make your toes squish together, and they'll literally deform your toes over, like, it takes a few years for that to happen, but a lot of people get deformed feet because they're putting their feet into shoes and boots that are way too small, and it could be their size, but it's too small, like width-wise or at the toe. And when it comes to something like this from Saddleback, they even have this really nice, like, Italian-made boot that I know for sure is on the Munson Last. And stuff like that is anatomical and good for a reason. Like, it was made for a reason, and it's still in existence almost like 100 years later, I suppose, at this point. And then it's because it just works so well. I usually go for anything that's like resembling a Munson Last. Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of different variations of it, so it doesn't have to be a specific last, but like something along the lines of it is what I'm getting at. The walkability, going back to the walkability without a heel, it just feels more like a natural kind of barefoot thing. I kind of like it. I don't mind it at all. I definitely prefer heels. Like, I'm just like a boot kind of person, so I prefer to have a heel on my boots. But you know, I keep calling these boots too. I think you've noticed I keep calling them boots because they're just like, they're rugged. These are rugged and I'm loving them. Saddleback Leather Company. Wow, making some really, really nice stuff. And these aren't even that expensive. These are only like 150 bucks. The slippers are the same price, which I think is interesting. I mean, they're built the same way. They're built the same. They just have, like, I guess, like from here basically is kind of cut off. And then the fur will also be down to the very edges of the bottom with their slippers, so those look really good, but they're shaped the same way. They still have that kind of heel thing that I mentioned where it prevents you from rolling your ankle. And yeah, they have those on the slippers and as well as these, because they're both the same. They're the same thing, they just don't have the heel on the slippers. And I'm not sure what point I'm getting at there, but I guess, like, I'm just trying to say, like, these are so rugged that I feel like their slipper version almost detracts from how rugged these are, because in my mind, if you're selling a slipper as rugged and durable as a slipper might be, and it's the same as this really, except for the heel, I keep saying it, as rugged as they might be, like psychologically in your mind, you're not thinking of slippers as being super rugged, durable things. But if you hear the word moccasin and you like kind of disrelate it from their slippers, I just feel like it's just like, it's a little bit better marketing wise to kind of separate them, because these are like shoes. These are shoes. These aren't like just super casual things you can wear once a week. These are things you can wear a lot. I'm not saying you can go on like massive crazy adventures on this thing, but this heel is the same as any kind of, or not the heel, but the sole is the same kind of sole as you would get on any high-end boot, like any high-quality boot with a veg tan leather sole. So, like, the fact that we're calling this a slipper at times is just insane. Because, I mean, but that's the thing about Saddleback, right? Is, like, they make these high-quality things, just like their backpacks and stuff, and they're built to be over-engineered. I'm pretty sure they use that word, too. It's over-engineered, and in the best way possible.